Table Reads, now part of the Rogue Intel Podcast Network.
Hey everybody, this is Trevor, and I'm here with Sean.
Hi.
And we're from Table Reads. Do you know what Table Reads is?
No.
Exactly.
I don't know what it is.
Even Sean doesn't know what it is, and he created it. Well, Sean, if you had to guess, which clearly you do, what do you think Table Reads is?
I would think it's a show about a fat guy and a skinny guy reading some bad scripts that never got to be made into movies.
Experience the worst Hollywood has to offer with readings of the scripts you never wanted.
You know, the thing I love about you, Sean, ever since we were kids, is you're always good at guessing. You nailed it.
Yay!
Yay!
Table Reads. Every Tuesday, right here on the Rogue Intel Podcast Network, or visit TableReadsPodcast.com.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass! That's because we are the powerful Nerdcast. Hello, my friends, I am Corey, the master of disaster, and joining me, as usual, is my good friend Christian.
Hey, internets, how's it effing going?
That is right. We have a completely off-the-cuff episode today. We have no plans. We don't know what we're talking about. We're just going to try and enjoy each other's company. So, Christian, for the next hour or so, just try to fake that we're friends, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, like I said, we don't
Who
really
are
like,
you?
have any...
Where am I? What's going on? Do you want to talk about Trump, Corey?
I don't really want to talk about... No, the last thing I want to talk about is politics. This is the powerful Nerdcast. We got to talk about nerdy shit, which, you know, there is one thing I would like
Trump
to talk about.
seems like an evil doer, like an evil, master evil genius that's like an idiot, though.
It's like a Saturday morning cartoon villain. He's like something like out of old school 1980s G.I. Joe or like Transformers, which, by the way, I love learning new shit about stuff that we grew up with and realizing how fucked up it is.
Talk to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
I used to watch Transformers back in the day as a kid. You know, when
was
you're a
it
kid,
more than meets the eye?
It was certainly more than meets the eye. It's clear the marketing worked on you. But
I should have memories of my family, but instead, it's Transformers. My childhood was robbed from me.
With Cookie Crisp. Anywho, that's a story for another day. Maybe we'll talk about it after this. But I love how just politically incorrect things used to be back in the day, because I used to watch the fuck out of the Transformers cartoon, and I was just watching this amazing video, which was like the top 10 super inappropriate things in old kid cartoons, and it's the type of stuff you don't even think about when you're a kid, but there was this like old terrorist organization in the old Transformers cartoon, which was called the Nation of Carbomia.
Oh, God.
I shit you not. It was
Praise Allah!
Exactly. And it was amazing that was just something we didn't notice as kids. You know, during the 80s, like one of the biggest scapegoats,
Carbomia?
like in terms of like Carbomia.
That
you
makes
can literally
no
look up Carbomia
sense.
Transformers and you'll find it. And I mean, just what a blatant... That sounds like something like South Park would come up with. But this was a show that was, you know, clearly marketed to kids. And of course, the whole thing is sort of like a play on the Libyans and everything in the 80s. And, you know, I didn't really notice it until now, but yeah, in like the 1980s, the Libyans were kind of like the scapegoat for like any sort of like terrorist operation or organization. Like if you watch Back to the Future, it's the Libyans that come in and try to kill Doc Brown because he's the one they got the plutonium from. And then you got Carbomia in fucking Transformers, which is so blatant and so fucked up. And the video that I watched it on, it was like I said, it was called like Top 10 Super Inappropriate Things That Were in Kid Shows. I think it was done by Dorkly, which, you know, I love their content. I honestly think it gets better with just about every single year. I know some people think it's a little irritating at times, but I loved the video that they did. And they went over all of these things that you're like, man, they got away with so much bullshit back in the day. And there's one joke in particular, which I think is really funny, and it got me thinking like, wow, we have sort of desensitized ourselves to that, which is dropping the soap jokes. Which, you know, they make it clear in the video, like, everyone and their mom has made the whole dropping the soap joke. It's just, and, you know, what's funny about it is that we make light of it, but the whole thing is just like a rape joke.
Yeah, it's kind of a rape joke. Yeah.
There's no kind of about it. It's straight as what happens when you're in prison and you drop the soap.
You make new friends.
You certainly make a new friend, and you end up walking like a cowboy for a couple of days.
The shit-stained balls and the butthole pleasures.
Exactly. Fucking you turn into Andy Dufresne is what you do. Shit does not work out for you. The sisters, they become your big sisters.
Wow.
And it's funny because they showed like all these examples of these old cartoons, even recent ones like SpongeBob, where there is a dropping the soap SpongeBob joke.
That's cool.
In a pretty recent episode, and it's weird that coming from SpongeBob.
SpongeBob is like the biggest meme out there. Like if you ever go to like Imgur, I know within like I haven't tested this. I'm just guessing right now. Let me see if I can even find one on the front page. But like SpongeBob is always a joke.
It's because he's so versatile. He's got all those ridiculous expressions and everything.
Oh, I love the internet though. The internet is so great. Well, actually, to be honest, I'm not. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that didn't take long. We already found one.
Netflix and chill. 10 minutes into Netflix and chill, and it's SpongeBob saying, "Any particular reason you took your pants off?" Like that is just hilarious. There's so many good ones. Like, well, actually, I can't find a whole bunch of good examples up top of my head because it just takes a while. But like, damn, dude, these are just like hilarious. What's the new one? The new meme is like this SpongeBob looking all like fucked up, and it's like whenever you belittle someone when they're like, hey man, you really shouldn't like eat that, and they're like, hey man, you really shouldn't eat that, and you like say it back to someone. There's this SpongeBob meme that's huge right now that's going around of that. That's fucked up.
That it is. I wish you guys could actually see what we're looking at.
Yeah. This is it's too hard to visually explain. We won't go too deep into it, but
it wouldn't be the first time we talk about Imgur.
Yeah.
But when you're getting ground on, I think we've seen that one before.
Oh yeah. How about this one?
Goku's body just. Oh my god! What the fuck?
It's just a hairless rat.
Oh my god, that is creepy looking.
So yeah, the internet loves SpongeBob. Is where I was going with that. But SpongeBob always has had like
somewhat racy jokes,
adult overtones built into it, though. Like with one of your favorite episodes is a swearing one with all the dolphin noises.
I love that one. I love it. All the swears are they're covered up by dolphin noises.
Yeah, and the other thing is like SpongeBob just has those intense close-ups, kind of like Ren and Stimpy at times.
Yeah, the super like up close, super detailed artwork that's like a still image.
Yeah.
I freaking love
like
those.
Whenever he was like trying to be cool and hang out with Sandy and her waterless tank,
Oh, that I don't need it.
I don't need it. I don't need it.
All
that's
the
an intense,
super detail in his face.
Yeah,
and
that's
you can
an
see
intense
all the
episode.
individual pores and everything.
Yeah, it's like kind of
the
fucked
bloodshot eyes.
Yeah.
I love that shit. It's kind of frightening, but honestly, it's one of the funniest elements of it. And I even as an adult, I don't say that I watch SpongeBob, but like there are always a couple clips that I see online randomly when I'm just bored that just remind me of how damn funny that show is. Stuff that I completely forgot about too. It makes me feel kind of old too, but it's amazing that show's been on the air for fucking 17 years. 18 technically if you want to count that it came out in the very end of 1999. It's amazing. I would have never imagined that show would go on that long, but it's still like the most popular show on that channel.
I have got to talk about this YouTube channel.
Okay.
I have become obsessed with this YouTube channel. Kursagot.
I guess that's how you pronounce it.
Yes.
Yeah, Kursagot in a nutshell. Well, what's the deal with this channel?
It is just an amazing channel that breaks down some very complex topics. Like here's some of their video topics are like fusion energy, malaria, designer babies, limits of humanity, human origins, death from space, red dwarf stars, white dwarf stars, quantum computers. So the whole point of this is I love science. Like I am in no way a scientist, but I am fascinated by science. And what the other thing that is really interesting about this channel is that they are really good at explaining things with a visual aspect to it. Obviously, that's important because if you're making a video, it needs to be
Well, I can
visual.
tell just by looking at the thumbnail. Do they use like an animation?
They use an animation, and they only come out with one video a month because it takes forever to make.
Yeah, they're not just trying to rush them out the door like a Let's Play video.
Yeah, no. These are very highly developed. Like you see how visually interesting this looks. Like it looks good. It looks really good. And you can also see like, they have this British guy doing the voiceover. So therefore, it's
really scientific.
It's really scientific. The only person you could have got better is Neil deGrasse Tyson to voice these.
I guess that's
things.
one of those like positive stereotypes. Like, you know, if you have like a really eloquent sounding British accent, you just always sound like you're really smart.
Yes, it's a trick. Mm-hmm. It's essentially a trick. But some of my favorite ones are A New History for Humanity. Let me find some of the other ones. The European Union, because I had no idea what the European Union was, and I remember hearing about it when Britain left the European Union.
The whole
Brexit, exactly. Designer babies, because it talks about the CRISPR method of genetic manipulation, and that shit will freak you out, because that is coming. We are going to get genetically engineered people very soon in our life, maybe within 50 years. And they talk all about how that's going to
cause all sorts of problems, though.
Yeah, because it'll be the non-genetically engineered over against the,
exactly. And who's going to say? And there's going to be certain groups that are going to be marginalized. There's going to be others that don't have the access to that sort of like genetic manipulation.
Like poor people aren't going to be able to have better babies, while the rich people are going to have the best babies.
That's
fucked up.
You were describing the anime series Gundam Seed.
You're describing every anime series.
Basically. But it's very similar to the story of Gundam Seed, which is all about like these genetically engineered humans, which are called coordinators, and they go up against like normal humans, and of course that causes a lot of friction between the two groups. And you can see that actually happening in real life.
That's going to happen. It's not if scary. It's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen. And in the beginning they're going to say, oh, we'll make sure that no one has cancer, or what would be some other genetic engineering diseases they could get rid of, like leukemia. No more leukemia. No one's born with it anymore. So like that is a really cool thing. But then it's going to be like, do you want to make sure you have really muscular or thin babies, or do you want to make sure you have tall children? Do you want to make sure they're smart? Do you want to make sure that there's no dyslexia built into them? You're going to get perfect people very soon.
It's going to be a bunch of fucking Abercrombie models.
Walking around as the average, and everyone else who didn't get genetic engineering is going to feel very, very marginalized. And this video is 16 fucking minutes, and it will educate the shit out of you. And I highly recommend this channel, So just check it out, because you were talking about YouTube channels you liked, and it reminded me of this.
Yeah, no, I like it. I almost discover like a new channel every single week. And it's amazing the content people are coming up with. But stuff that involves like animation and stuff, especially stuff like this, that's you actually learn something from it. It's not just random videos of cats or someone getting kicked in the nuts. It's something that I can really appreciate.
I like those too, though. I don't want to get too crazy here.
I'm not going to lie. I mean, occasionally I do watch compilation videos of that type of shit. But, I mean, this type of stuff is... There's
also a lot of great science channels out there. One of the other thing is, I do not remember this gentleman's channel, but which I need to look up, Joe. Everyone can check it out. Also, how do you spell this so people can try to look this channel up? Maybe the titles of the videos are a better thing to search.
The Kurtsagat, I mean, I wouldn't even know how to spell it if I didn't see it. It's Kurzgeagt, Kurtsagat.
I'm sure that's a scientific name for something that we don't understand.
I don't fucking know.
But like this damn video series that they make are great. I just think if you want to get educated on a topic and kind of understand what's happening, GMOs, a lot of people have changed their thoughts on that. One of my favorite ones was Human Origins. Okay, here's another one I really like. Human Origins, watch that one. And then the other one was year 12,017 instead of 2017, whatever we're now. Because they always say, like, for some reason our calendar is based off the Christian calendar, and when Jesus showed up, we restarted the whole thing. But, like, you're dismissing the Greeks, you're dismissing all these other things that we did way before, we actually keep track of it. And it fucks you up, because now you have to, come up with the before Christ years and the after Christ years, before and after death, AC, BC. And they explain how that's really a confusing way to tell time, especially for human beings, because we don't count things in negatives, I got -3 things, but at this point I'll have 0. And even though I have things, and then at this point I have 3 things, even though I actually have 6, like we don't count like that. So why are we counting our years like that?
That is true.
Yeah.
Our whole like calendar is pretty fucked up.
And based off of Christian religion, which is weird.
It is weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it really weird that like it all goes back to like
Jesus being born?
Yeah. Like it's BC. Before Christ, like, I mean, and no one, like, has any contention with that, which is a little strange. You'd think it would cause a lot of conflict, but especially in today. But I mean, yeah.
Yeah, they also have how the whole human race could get killed from gamma radiation hitting the Earth, and they got a whole bunch of cool
lovely.
shit. They got Ebola explained to show you exactly what Ebola does to your immune system when it enters, and then like a whole bunch of cool stuff. The space elevator,
all dressed up with pretty animation.
yeah, all dressed up with pretty cute, like. The little Ebola virus thing is cute and it has big eyes and shit. It's all very...
Because that's exactly what everyone thinks of when they think of Ebola.
Exactly. Anyway, the point is, check this shit out. Get educated. It's one of my new favorite channels. I watch 1 or 2 a night. I try not to binge watch because they only come out once a month.
Mm-hmm. So. Some of them might be a little longer than others.
Yeah, they're like 20 minutes long each, or like 10 minutes, and that's like a TV show.
It is easy to binge watch stuff, man.
I just don't want to get rid of stuff. Oh, this channel...
This
Primal
is the one. Primitive technology.
Oh, I was going to say primal, but it was primitive. Primitive technology. This guy, how many...
I already know the concept of the channel, and I don't even have to see any videos.
Look how many subscribers he has.
Wow.
Do you know how much he's ever talked in any of his videos?
Probably none at all.
Ever.
Barely.
Never, ever.
He never talks.
Ever.
So I can already tell that the whole point of this channel is that this guy basically crafts and makes things that were used in primitive times and shows how they worked.
Yes.
Without actually having to communicate what that is and just do it all through the visuals. Wow.
All visuals. Like here he's making a thermite clay kiln.
A termite clay kiln and
termite.
pottery.
I can't read, people. I just can't read. And yeah, but he just makes these things, and he just makes pottery, and this house behind him he's built. He started off with like a straw roof, and then made a forge and would like make tiles and then put them on, and like it's just amazing what this guy does.
Yeah. And
it's like the dude's camping all the time. What the fuck does this dude do for a living?
I guess he does this.
Yeah, well, if you got 4 million subscribers and you're getting 7, you get about $2,000 for 1 million views.
Yeah.
So that's not bad.
Yeah.
You get 7 million, you're making some good stuff. And how he makes traps, how he grows gardens, grass hut versus other hut, how he installs a heater in his house by building a channel for the heat to go through, because he'll build a fire on one side of the house, and then the heat will get channeled through the floor because he builds that, and then like he even builds axes, all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah. Just all from like different time periods? Or is there like a particular one that he focuses on?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you that because he doesn't talk.
That is interesting.
Yeah. So, and then PewDiePie. I love that channel.
He has his own fan base, and
he does. And to pretend it's not popular is stupid, but it's not for us.
It's not for me, no.
Yeah, it's not for us. Also, I love
the people on Naked and Afraid need to check that fucking shit out,
dude. Those shows are too.
That stupid show.
Those shows are dumb. I met the director of photography of one season of that show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, he was probably making bank, so he didn't care. He was filming naked people the whole time.
Of course not. That's just one step away from porn.
You think people have hooked up on that show?
And just had like weird, wild monkey sex, like outside.
Like with like dirty dicks and dirty pussies, like with dirt all over it and shit. Like,
yeah, just smearing up all over the place and cameras all over the place. Yeah.
Oh, we got to stay warm.
I'm sure they've made some babies.
Ugh. Ugh. The whole thing just seems gross. Naked and Afraid. I've seen the whole one episode of that show, and then I
watched like half of one for the first time like a month ago. Like I was just bored. I was like, "What the fuck is this? Naked and Afraid?" And it's exactly what you think it is from the title. And I mean, the concept is interesting and everything, but it also seems like just I don't know. I'm sure the amount of litigation and like papers these people have to sign so they can't sue them has got to be ridiculous, because you can only imagine some of the injuries that these people are going to have. Like, you can't pay me enough to walk around, like, completely naked with my dong dangling with fucking briar patches all over the place. That's just, you're walking into a nightmare right there. Fuck that. Do you want to pick thorns out of your screwball?
My soggle flange?
Exactly. You don't want to fucking do that.
I don't know how I'd feel about that show. I will never be on that, for the record.
Yeah. And, I just, when it comes to, like, those nature survival shows, like, ever since I saw that one video, I'm not sure I think it was Bear Grylls, where, like, it looks like he's, like, hopping over some rocks, and, like, he's out in the wilderness, and then the camera just, like, pans over. You can see, like, 4 cars in the background, like, driving on a highway. Like, ever since that moment, I was like, okay, this is bullshit right here. And I'm not sure if I even saw that in an episode or if it was just something that someone found online.
No, what happened was people were calling him out, and they went back to the area he was at. And then they're like, as you can see, he was clearly right next to the road.
Yeah.
But he's not showing you that. So people
Little
just calling
bit
him
of
out.
camera manipulation.
Yeah, movie magic, just not showing him the real thing. This is the channel that I talked about in the last episode when we were talking about eating beef tendon, and I don't remember if I mentioned the name, and I wanted to go back.
Strictly Dumpling?
Strictly Dumpling. And it's just this dude, this Asian dude, who's sort of buff, actually. I guess he works out all the time because all he does is fucking eat, and he has to. And he just has this great channel that's not super produced. I'm not giving him credit for the way the show looks, but it's a well-made channel, and it introduces you to Asian food in a deep, deep level. And I think that's interesting because there's a lot about Asian food that people don't know about. Because that shit,
it's all fucking General Tso's chicken and sweet and sour chicken, right?
No, fuck, it's nothing to do with that.
Yeah, you go to Korea, you get yourself some fucking Mongolian beef.
Yeah, like here's a cool one that is just all about Bangkok, Thailand night market food tour. And he just goes around this, the night market foods, and you can kind of see. That's one of the big things. Like, we're not used to, like, in certain areas in this country, you're used to food trucks and that sort of, like, there one night, not there the next kind of food scene. Like, we don't really have that here in the United States in certain areas.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very...
Unless it's like a major city or like a super gentrified area, that's like the only place you're going to get it.
Yeah, but like gentrified...
Because it's hip as shit, Everybody
Oh,
loves
yeah.
the farm-to-table food trucks.
But this guy just loves going to random places, and he shoots little videos about how stuff's made, and then he just wears a lav, and I guess him and his girlfriend go out, and he just gets a B-roll, and he just talks, and there's no like voiceover much. There's not much voiceover in this, he just goes for it, talks about things, and then he'll always get super excited after he eats it. Look at this, woo, and it's very cornily.
He looks pumped up right there after eating whatever the hell that was.
I think it was a baby pineapple.
A baby pineapple.
Oh, here's that thing. You know these?
Oh, durians. I still want to try a durian.
I want to try a durian too, just so I can say I had one.
Exactly. I just want to see what the whole deal is.
Look at this
now
deep fried
he's eating some fucking
crab
gnarly
legs.
looking crab.
Yeah. And he just goes around and eats nonstop. And he teaches you a lot. And this is the guy who educated me about beef tendon. And I'll be honest, he wasn't right. It wasn't very good. But, at least I tried it because of this channel.
He was wrong as shit. Stuff was nasty. I'm still getting the fucking taste of that shit out of my mouth.
Beef tendon is like... It's
plastic.
It's like plastic with that you can never chew down.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like it's trying to tell you don't eat me.
Nah.
I do think certain foods try to do that.
Well, I think Asian culture is like the ultimate use everything of the animal.
Oh,
like,
no. Well, I mean, it's just they use everything, period.
Because they can't afford to throw food away.
No,
there was
they
a
can't.
lot of people there, and they had to feed them somehow. That's why hot pot's such a big thing. And some clams and some fish, and you just want to eat all this food. He makes it all look good because he's overly excited about it. So I highly recommend you guys check out Strictly Dumplings. That's one of my favorite YouTube channels I've been watching.
Didn't see him eat a single dumpling.
Well,
kind of.
He's got a whole dumpling.
Oh,
episodes.
I'm sure he's got all
you can eat barbecue in Las Vegas episode. Like, look at that.
Jesus Christ.
What are you seeing, Corey?
Just a big ass fucking giant burger
with giant onion straws on top of it.
Oh, that's kind of disgusting, but probably tastes good too.
And he just mushes it down.
Oh my gosh. So I mean, clearly he eats more than just like Asian food and stuff. Like he goes around. He just tries a lot of regional stuff.
Yeah, he wants to understand food culture. I think he's a big fan of food culture, and he also has a lot of stuff where he cooks food because he's obviously a fan of food. But this is just one guy, a camera, a tripod, a lav mic, and a great attitude, and he makes some good videos.
That reminds me, there was another food channel that I need to try and find. I actually just discovered it yesterday. I thought it was really intriguing. The entire concept of the channel is it's this cook, and you never see his face on screen. It's usually just his hand, maybe just like his torso. But he makes food that you see in movies and in TV. Okay,
so he goes and he's a nostalgia cook.
Basically, yeah. Like he made the Szechuan sauce from Rick and Morty.
Oh God.
He made exactly. He made.
How do you even spell that?
He made the Big Kahuna burger from like just type in Big Kahuna Burger and you might be able to find it. But I love this guy's videos. There it is, first one right there.
Andrew Ree.
Yep. Binging with Babish, the Big Kahuna Burger from Pulp Fiction. And what this guy does is he takes all these famous pop culture items. Usually he shows a clip from what it's from, and then he just makes it right there. And sometimes he improvises, and sometimes he actually makes it better. But it's always something that exists.
He's like, that's the only picture of it I have, and it's just a burger.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's hard to tell what the Big Kahuna Burger was anyway, but his interpretation is, he makes this really wicked, like, pan-fried hamburger, and he also gets, first he just makes a regular version, and then he gets, like, some grilled pineapple and stuff, because that's the whole thing with the Big Kahuna Burger. It's like a Hawaiian burger joint.
Yeah.
And, but I mean, there are more elaborate ones that he's actually
This is a pretty basic one, actually. It's just burger. But,
yeah, but if like, you look at some of the other, like, he makes the Goodfellas prison sauce, which is, the classic scene in Goodfellas when they're in jail and Paulie is cutting the garlic with
super thin with a razor blade.
Super thin with a razor. He actually does it like that in this.
Yeah.
And he utilizes all of the ingredients.
How's this guy put ads on his video when he shows huge movie clips?
I don't fucking know the
Okay.
damn.
That's a whole nother topic, guys. If you ever want us to explain how things get approved on YouTube and some things don't ask us. Yeah. And also, even if you get approved, randomly a year later they could just decide no.
Exactly. It's fucking annoying, and I hate seeing people get away with it, and then I try it, and then like a week later, it's like, oh, done.
Yep.
Like,
you're in trouble.
I don't even have as many views as them. What's up?
Yeah. This motherfucker is showing straight. Well, he is talking over it.
Oh no! He's playing the clip right now.
Oh, that's not his voiceover?
Yeah, that's what's
Corleone's, or I'm just naming random. Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know.
Chuck E. Cheese.
It's pastas.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh yeah, but yeah, he shows.
I mean, this video is 1/3 that movie clip.
Yeah. But
anyway.
Then he comes in and then he actually starts like making the dish, and I mean it's legit. He actually does do it with the razor blade, which is really cool. You can see it slicing it very thin, which the whole point of doing that method, of course, is that it immediately liquefies in the pan with the olive oil, which is a pretty interesting theory to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, it gets that flavor in there.
He also made one of my favorite dishes, which it's not really my favorite. It's more of a favorite from where it comes from, which is Homer's Moon Waffles.
Okay, Corey is a nostalgia junkie, so if you like throw in some nostalgia, it immediately makes him want it.
But he makes Homer's Moon Waffles, which are really disgusting. It's basically like just a bunch of caramel candies thrown onto a waffle griddle, and then he puts waffle batter on top of it and liquid smoke. There it is, right at the top.
I'm gonna watch the real clip
Homer's
first.
version is pretty fucking hilarious, and I love it because this is like Homer just doing it on the fly. But the best part is how he actually finishes it, because he makes this disgusting ass waffle, and then right in the middle of it, he just puts a big old hunk of butter, puts it on a stick, and then just eats it.
Wow.
And this guy actually does the same thing. He makes the actual version of it, and then he makes more of like a more refined version of the dish.
What is that? Is that caramel candies?
That's just caramel candies that he's just throwing on.
What's that stuff?
That's waffle batter.
Okay, batter.
Yeah, and then he just puts that all down, which, that in and of itself probably tastes good. I mean, it's just pure sugar and batter and sweetness. But it's when he puts that goddamn giant stick of butter in the middle, you're like, that just doesn't work. And like, he's doing it right there, but he's like, that's disgusting.
Not enjoying this.
And this is when he makes a more refined version where he makes his very own like butterscotch sauce, and he makes like real waffle batter, and actually like makes a better version of it, which is really interesting. Which he does that sometimes. He'll make like just, I have to make the ridiculous version, and then
first,
and then he makes the real version.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
But I mean, this guy's got great views too. And this is a pretty recent video right here, too. Like, this was just done in the last
May
month.
2nd, of this year. Yeah, look at him trying to get that shit out of there.
It's got to be a fucking nightmare. Yeah, sometimes he, at the end of the video, he usually shows bloopers or some issues he has while cooking. But yeah, this is another one of those shows that I really
Everyone's
love.
using Patreon now. I hate to talk about money on YouTube channels, but like, I swear to God, like everyone is talking about support us with Patreon. Do people do that?
A lot of people like using Patreon because that way they can not monetize their video, and they can get rid of the whole concept of showing an ad before the video, and then you can just they can get their funding from fans.
You know what's a good idea with that?
What?
You could put clips in, but not monetize, and then not have a problem.
Exactly. But the thing is, there's also people who still manage to monetize even with clips.
Yeah.
Which still confounds me to this day. I don't know.
I mean, look how much this guy's making a month.
Yeah.
With Patreon followers.
Pretty
He's almost making
good.
$7,000 a month We need to put a Patreon up.
We need to do a Patreon. You guys need to fucking pay our bills.
We need help.
This is ridiculous.
Watching anime and talking about it is hard work.
It's really hard. We need new equipment. And you guys need to pay for it because we sure as fuck don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But
fucking Funimation ain't paying for it, that's for sure.
That's true.
We are sponsored by nobody.
Even though we give them so much free endorsements.
Homer's Donut Hell. For some reason, this is one of my Simpsons classics.
Oh, so you like donuts, eh?
Yeah.
And then he never stops.
Oh.
And he demands more even as it still goes on. Oh, classic Simpsons. I love those episodes. But yeah, I mean, it's funny. A lot of our interest for all these brand new YouTube channels and the really successful ones, they all tend to gravitate a little more towards food, which I think is pretty cool.
Food culture is on the rise in the United States, for me anyway. You know, like
it's been steady, but I mean, it keeps going. Oh, he makes chefs salty balls.
No way.
Yeah, I just saw that thumbnail down there. the foods of South Park. So, and then right next to that is the Rick and Morty Szechuan sauce. Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the Thanksgiving sandwich from Friends, like everything is there. Like he goes crazy with it.
And those are things people will search anyway. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he knocked it out of the park with this. I think this is a good,
it's a great concept.
Great concept. Why didn't we think of this?
I don't know.
Why didn't we think of Uber?
We could totally make a show like that too.
Why didn't we think of Uber or Snapchat?
I don't know. Millions? It's bullshit. We need to fucking go back in time and patent pen that shit.
I know. It's not fair. Anyway,
it's completely fair, actually.
That's not. I want it though. Wang. Wang. So yeah, there's so many cool YouTube channels. Of course, I have, because I'm like a video producer. I have some of my favorite like video channels, like DSLR video shooter. He's like a great guy. He's just very thorough in his reviews and very realistic. And also, here's the thing about people that teach you video stuff: they're either super amateur, you know, or they're so high end and they're shooting these giant things and they have like giant lights and stuff that you just will never have access to. And I'm not saying you can't get there. I'm just saying the average video shooter does not walk around with a 5-ton grip truck following them around. Mm-hmm. You know, that like you just don't have that gear, you know, so.
But I mean, the bar has been raised in terms of like the YouTube content. You know, it started out just people with a webcam, and now it's full-blown production.
It is full-blown production. And guess what? It's not that hard to do full-blown production if you just have a little bit of planning, invest a little bit of money, and go for it.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, I mean, even with our YouTube videos, like, we take a really lazy route with it. We have access to lights and all types of shit, but it takes so much time.
And also, it's hard.
But if you put the time in, it'll really pay off.
It's hard to set that shit up every time because you like, I want to get a video out right now, you know, and then you're like, okay, let me set up 3 fucking lights.
And I mean, if it were up to me, I would fucking script out every video that I did. I honestly think a lot of my scripted content is the best stuff that I've ever done. Like, you know,
some of our DBZ reviews for
reviews. One, the review that I did last October for the very first Pokemon movie.
Yeah.
To me, that's the best script I ever wrote.
Really?
It's probably not even the most successful video we've done, but like, I go back and I listen to it and I read the comments on it and like, I'm like, wow, I'm really proud of what I wrote here. It's actually analytical. It actually works. It's funny. And when I do that, I'm way more proud of it. But I mean, a lot of the stuff that I look at and a lot of the stuff that I review, it's all like a matter of time kind of thing. Like, you know, an episode comes out, I better make sure and get that review out in the next 2 hours, or otherwise it's just going to get lost in this sea of just reviews and previews and video clips, and no one will ever see it.
No one will ever see it.
And it is tough. Like, there are times, like, you know, if I can get a video out like an hour after I watch it, it's great. But also at the same time, I second guess myself. I'm like, was that good enough? Did I analyze that enough? Am I happy with that
Am I just
review?
saying it's good or it's bad and then getting out of there?
I really I try to break things down as much as I can. That's like with
But we're in a different game. We're in a game where got to get your content out now.
Yeah.
That's not like this guy making the food because no one knows what food he's making next. He's not reviewing the food. He just gets to pick the dish and then make it himself.
And I find when things are like really sporadic, they tend to do good too. And usually it has to be something that's kind of like fresh. You know, I mean, I review a lot of anime, but then I took a chance this year by reviewing Samurai Jack, and my Samurai Jack videos do better than some of my anime reviews.
Just because it's topical, though.
Exactly. It's so fresh and it's good. Another thing is, too, like a lot of the anime they review is based on manga series, And unfortunately, that has the stigma of being like based on a story that people already kind of know about. Like they know what's coming, they know what's going to be happening in the episode.
Yeah, so the hype is a lot less.
Yeah, but still, there are times where it like really pays off. Like the last couple episodes of Attack on Titan, just blowing my absolute fucking mind. The last 2 episodes have been insane, and it still kills me that you've like known about all of these developments for like the last 4 years. And I'm just now sort of like getting into them. Like the most recent episode with Eren battling against Reiner, who is the armored Titan, was just spec-freaking-tacular. So hard-hitting and explosive, and featured some of the most just like badass animation that I've seen from the series. It was kind of like the monster equivalent of like a UFC fight. Like that's kind of how it felt like at first, with just these ridiculous huge punches followed by all of these grapples and these holds, and it was done with so much gusto. And honestly, I think it was probably the best animated episode of the entire series. And the whole time while watching it, my jaw's just dropping, and I'm also thinking in the back of my head, people have known about this for 4 years, or at least people who decide to read the manga version. And that's just one of the main reasons why I love fucking just watching the anime versions of shows. You know, I love the One Piece anime series, but I think I also loved it just a little bit more when I didn't read the manga, because I had no idea what was going to be happening with all of this crazy shit that's going on. And we're at a part in the story right now where I have privy to knowledge about certain characters and their motivations and the way they really are, and watching it play out in the anime when I know that they're going to go through a transformation into a completely different character just fucking irks me, man. It really gets under my skin a little bit, because I also have to make sure and let the audience, you know, I don't want to spoil them with too much, and if I do have to do that, I have to put out a spoiler warning, which basically says, well, don't watch the rest of the video. And I don't want them to do that. I want them to watch it all. So a lot of the times I do have to play dumb.
But at the same time, don't you feel like the majority of the audience knows everything?
A good majority of them
are you catering to a smaller minority by doing
Maybe
that?
I am. I don't know. It's just I always like to acknowledge those who just like to watch the anime version of stuff. Like there were people in the Attack on Titan episodes that like they knew that Reiner and Bertholdt were the armored and colossal Titan, and then there were people who were also just really shocked by that fact, and they had no idea that was going to happen. But I was certainly in the minority on that one, especially with a few other people. Almost everyone, like the first comment I got on that video was like, I've known about this for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but this blew my freaking mind, man. And it's great. It's it's one of those series that, when it first started, it was really popular. And then, like a lot of things that get really popular, over time people say that it starts to get kind of overrated, and there's not that much to the series. And I'm not saying that Attack on Titan is like Shakespeare or anything, but it's one of the best damn anime of the season.
It's got
right
a lot
now.
on the line. I mean, people are dying, people are getting to watch their friends die. It has this you're fighting for humanity. There's more going on than just...
It is fight or flight, the anime.
Yeah.
That is what it is. It is just about the extremes of pure survival, and knowing that if you make one wrong move, it's over.
And I also think that the wins are small in Attack on Titan. Like the moments of happiness are
and that's
brief.
why when they do win, it fucking feels great.
Yeah, because it's exactly like, to me, it's very Walking Dead-like, because the happy moments in Walking Dead are few and far between. So when they happen, they're impactful. Mm-hmm. It's hard.
Yeah. And I mean, Attack on Titan is not too dissimilar from like, a zombie movie or even Walking Dead in general. I mean, it's just, the Titans themselves basically are big zombies.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, they technically are.
Even though they randomly attack each other too. It's really fucking strange.
That is weird.
I mean, but it's crazy though. But I mean, do you still read the manga version?
No, I've stopped reading.
You just
probably
sort of gave up on it?
4 months ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I recommend the anime version if you decide you want to jump back on board.
I'm sure it's great.
There's tons of good stuff.
I just haven't had the time. I don't read much. All I read is the Berserk manga right now.
Berserk manga?
And
Have
the
you,
One Piece manga.
Same thing you gave up on One Punch Man?
One Punch Man, I wait like half a year and then go back and binge it.
Oh, okay.
Because it's slow to come out.
It definitely is slow.
I mean, slow.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the only parts of the manga I've seen is the stuff that you've actually showed me, which I don't think it's too spoilerific.
What, One Punch Man?
Yeah.
Well, what do you think happens? One Punch Man finds a new really strong guy and he fights him and then most likely wins.
Yeah, that's basically. I mean, I'm
That
sure
storyline is not that crazy. The storylines are the side characters have the real developments, you know, or the super powerful characters have to come to the conclusion that they're not as powerful as Saitama, you know, like, because there's a lot of infighting in some of the later stuff.
Yeah.
And that doesn't seem that crazy. I mean, it seems pretty standard to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I really enjoy reading the mangas of certain things, but also, you know, I'm like you. I mean, the animation is better. The animated version is better because it's, you know, it's more flushed out story. It's a more developed thing. It has music that the creators picked. It has the visuals, the voice actors that you know that represent those people. It's just it's easier.
Yeah, I mean, the scene where both Reiner and Bertholdt transform into their Titan forms, like, as soon as I got done watching that episode, I went and looked at what the manga version was like, and man, it just pales in comparison. Just, there was so much more grandiose in the anime version, and a lot of that simply just had to do with the music itself. It just lifted everything up to this like brand new height that I didn't think could be possible with the series. And they do reuse a lot of the same music tracks in the series, but I'll be damned if they're not epic as shit and just get you so pumped up. To the point where, like, and I joke with this about my friend Ben all the time, like whenever we go see movies and stuff, it's like, I'm really looking forward to this new movie and everything, but there's no way it'll be as epic as what I just saw on Attack on Titan. And in many ways, that's true. Like, I just got done seeing Guardians 2, which I don't want to spoil you too much with.
I want to see it.
But Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was really good. But, like, I enjoyed staying home and watching anime just a tad bit more than watching that movie.
Loser.
I'm sorry. I got more out of that experience. That's not to say that Guardians was bad. In fact, I actually liked the second one a little bit more than the first movie. And make sure when you see it too to stay after the credits for the whole time.
Yeah, of course.
There's like 5 freaking post-credit scenes, some of which won't even make any sense, and most of them are just funny.
Yeah, I figure they're more just wrapping up the story, and then there's like 1 or 2 that are like important to the Marvel universe.
I will also say that I think the second Guardians movie was way more of a comedy than any other Marvel movie's ever been. I mean, inherently the Guardians are a little more goofy, just in the way they carry themselves and just the way the dialogue is written. Mm-hmm. But the second movie's a straight up comedy.
Oh, like, have you heard this speedrun news? Sorry to change topics. This guy beat Super Mario 64 in an hour and 39 minutes and got all 120 stars.
He did a 120-star run
in an hour and 40 minutes.
Holy shit.
Isn't that crazy?
That's impressive as a mother. He probably used a lot of interesting glitches.
I don't know if he uses
to get through the game.
I haven't watched it.
I mean, I've seen a lot of speed runs of the game where people can like get to the final Bowser practically immediately. Mm-hmm. A lot of you know, if you remember in the old game, like the final part of the game, the final room you go into, and you go up the staircase where Bowser is, and if you don't have enough stars, the staircase never ends.
Yeah.
Like you just keep going up, da na 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 na. But people have like come up with this exploit where they can basically glitch themselves up the stairs by running backwards, and they can like bypass all of that and basically go to Bowser like within like 5 minutes.
This guy is fast though.
But to do 120 stars in that amount of time, like that's
look
insane.
At how he moves. He just floats through these levels, you know.
Mario 64, man, what a watershed game. We wouldn't have the 3D games we have now if it wasn't for this game right here.
There is not a single wasted movement in this guy's like.
You know this guy has practiced his ass off on this game, and that's a lot of content to get through.
Yeah.
Maybe not by today's standards, but I mean, like,
what? That game is huge.
Mario 64, like when it came out, like it took me, I think, a good year and a half just to like get to Bowser and not even get all 120 stars. I mean, I guess I could chalk it up to the fact that I was younger and I was an okay gamer at the time, but like when this came out, like there'd never been a 3D game like this before. No one had ever used like a what is it? The control stick?
Yeah.
Or on the actual control. Like nobody had ever controlled a character in a 3D space. Like look at that. That's annoyingly perfect. How good he's doing at this. Like he's jumping off the half of the stage.
Boom, got that 100 coin.
That is insane, man. And it took me like as a kid, like I remember I got the game in 97. I didn't get 120 stars until like I think the very end of 1999.
Well, that's because you suck.
And I played the fuck out of this game.
Look at this guy just plowing through these levels. Yeah. Even the hard levels like this level.
TikTok Clock was so hard back in the day, man.
This guy.
A lot of it had to do though with like the limitations of the N64. Like, it was a good game, but it was also archaic in the sense, like, you couldn't control the camera that well. Mario's movements weren't, like,
Look at that.
fully 3D.
Did you see that?
Yeah. That was scary, how
Look at
perfect
this.
that little jump was.
Look at this jump. It's just like, oh, you got to get there. Oh, this is not hard. Don't worry.
He
Boom,
bypasses
boom.
that, and then, oh my god, he just wall jumps, and he slides up there.
Yeah, he slides. He slides
And
everywhere.
then he just jumps.
Like, he just knows where to be.
Like, whenever
this-
I played TikTok Clock, I had to take my time. Like, I would, like, barely even run half the time in this stage.
Yeah, this guy got
Because I was so
100
afraid of,
coined
like, falling off.
100 coin that stage in like 3 seconds.
That's insane, man. And
Yeah.
he's playing the Japanese version. I don't know if there's any differences with that
harder to
version.
read.
There might be something different, which allows him to move maybe a little faster,
Whoa.
get through
Did you
things
see
quicker.
that?
That stage, too, man. That stage was a real bitch back in the day.
This guy's just dominating it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how all this is going to translate to the new Mario game coming out on Switch this year, Odyssey, which they're teasing for E3, which is coming up in approximately 1 month.
Whoa!
Yeah, which anybody who knows us personally, we know we love E3. We love all the previews for all the new games. Switch in particular, this is their chance to really prove this is why you should own this system. I mean, they already have me sold. I'm already getting like another 6 games on the system this year. I'm pumped, but like they need to let everybody else know, like, hey, we got a strong lineup coming in 2017. It's not just going to be the same old shit that we have, and we're not just going to rely entirely on Zelda this year. I mean, Mario Odyssey is going to be the one.
It is?
Yeah,
Is it gonna? It's gonna save us from the Matrix?
it is. Damn it.
Damn it! I'm gonna take it back to the Matrix.
And I mean, there's also tons of other games that are coming out as well on like PS4 and shit. Like they just released Injustice 2, which have you seen? I don't know if you've been.
Yeah, I've
following-
watched all the clips. I know all the final smashes and everything.
Oh, you've actually already seen all that
Oh,
shit?
yeah.
Does that game not have some of the best damn facial animations you've ever seen?
I never thought about it.
You gotta like look at some of the cutscenes. They are unbelievable. NetherRealm Studios has made one of the best looking games I've ever seen, and I never expected it to be like.
Is
a
the
decent
fighting good
game.
though?
The fighting is good. I mean, amongst like the hardcore fighting game community, Street Fighter has always been considered like the best. It's like the cream of the crop. Like that's what the real pros play. They play Street Fighter, and Mortal Kombat and Injustice has always been sort of seen as like the redheaded stepchild of the community.
Mm-hmm.
It certainly has a big following, and I still think it takes a lot of skill because there are some people who can rack up some ridiculous combos and combinations with their characters. But it is still one of those like it is shunned a little bit by the Street Fighter community, which.
But the Street Fighter community has their head so far up their own ass. They're like They're like. How I remember reading an article about a game developer, and he was saying we do not cater to the hardcore crowd because they are a small minority, and they are so vocal, and if you try to please them, it's hard, and it'll maybe fuck up your game. So I feel like at a certain point you can't go that route.
I mean, I have a PS4. I haven't gotten Street Fighter V yet, but I am tempted because I always like to try the newest version of the series. Did you know that there is a version of Street Fighter coming out next week on the Switch?
No.
You should look it up. It's pretty freaking awesome. It's called Ultra Street Fighter 2. You heard me right, Street Fighter 2. Just type in Switch Street Fighter. Yeah. And hopefully they'll have something. Yeah.
This is
Just check that out right there.
no Game Explain. The fucking dudes spend 5 hours walking through a 2-minute trailer.
I love Game Explain, man.
It looks good.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually a game I might get.
Yeah.
Maybe wanting me to make me play my Switch again because I am just like over Zelda. It's a great game, and just it's the only thing I play on it.
But
It
it's
looks
like
good.
it's basically an enhanced version of Street Fighter 2. You can obviously tell that they've.
Is this a $50 or $60 game?
It's a $40 game.
It should be a $30 game.
It should be a $30 game. But I mean, they've updated just about everything from like you have new backgrounds, new graphics, new sounds.
Can I play against you?
Yeah. You can literally take one Switch, and each person can take a Joy-Con and use that to play on one system. If you both have the game, you can play it together, and you can also play online. There's going to be local play as well. And what I really love about this game, it's like the definitive version, is you can play with the new graphics, or you can make them look like the old ones. There's this stupid mode right here, which they added, which is like a little mini-game mode, where you can actually shoot like the Hadokens. But like, yeah, see, like there's they're using like classic graphics right there, but then you can use the new ones. You can mix and match the sounds, and most importantly, there are 2 new characters that they've introduced in this game, which again is why this is going to be the definitive version of the game. But it does kind of suck that the 2 new characters are basically just different versions of Ken and Ryu.
Oh, Violent.
Yeah, there's Evil Ryu and Violent Ken. That's actually the name of the character.
But I thought those characters already existed.
They kind of do.
They're like
but
within the
they've
lore.
Yeah, but they've never existed in... This is the first time they've added new characters to like Street Fighter 2 since like the 90s. Which is why it's being considered like the definitive version. My personal advice is don't pick up the game quite yet. Wait a little bit.
Okay.
Just give it some time. But it is, if you're into that series or it's something that you're mildly interested and want to get into, that's a great version to start with because it's the most simple of the Street Fighters, yet it's still one of the most satisfying. You get easily the most iconic cast, you get 2 new characters, and I definitely plan on picking that one up. I just picked up Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on Switch, which is freaking great. They added a good amount of new content to that with new racers and new modes. The online is pretty freaking smooth. It's great. Not to mention a million other freaking games coming out this year. PS4 alone, there's so many other ones that I am looking forward to. I can't wait for the new Battlefront. That's going to be sexy as shit.
Are you excited about the new Alien movie?
Alien Covenant?
Yes.
Ooh, man. I as a fan of the franchise, I am, and I want to see where they're going to take it. And I try not to be influenced too much by other people's reviews and reactions to it, but a lot of the early reviews I've been hearing are not too favorable of it.
I'm just sad because Prometheus was supposed to be good and it kind of failed. And then,
it made money and enough for them to warrant a sequel, and enough for Ridley Scott to say, "Hey, I'm going to make another one of these things really quick."
Yeah.
And it's pretty clear that he listened to the fan base a little bit because this one is so much more like Xenomorph centric.
Okay.
Like way more. I'm going to put in the classic styled aliens in this one and forget about the whole the engineer thing. But I do kind of want to see it still. I've heard it's gnarly as fuck. I've heard like the effects are really good. I've heard there's a lot of good practical effects.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to like the gore and the violence and stuff. And as kind of like a horror movie fan, I kind of am interested to see that. It's hard to believe though because in all the trailers, like all I see is just a bunch of fucking CG aliens and stuff. Especially that one that's like attacking Danny McBride, and that's another thing. I can't get over Danny McBride being in it.
His plums.
It's just Danny McBride's one of those guys like I look at and I just can't help but laugh. And a lot of it mostly just has to do with his ridiculous hairstyle and the fact that he's always smiling. And I've been told that in this movie he plays it straight for the most part, which is, I guess a pretty big accomplishment on his part. I guess he's trying to be taken a little more seriously as an actor, but Ridley Scott will do that, If there's one thing I do like about Ridley Scott is that he takes horror movies and he tries to elevate them to something that's more than just like a, standard horror or slasher movie that's just like, your matinee film. He tries to make it a little more intriguing. And he does so with a lot of gusto and a lot of freaking good production value. So I gotta respect that.
I mean, he tries hard. He's not half-assing this movie series.
Not to say that Ridley Scott is perfect. I mean, he has made some stinkers before, but I mean, I think he's a pretty damn good director.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I actually really enjoy his stuff.
I mean, Alien Covenant can't be any worse than the Emoji Movie.
Oh, God.
Simple as that. Which has T.J. Miller in it, which makes me lose a lot of respect for him.
He's just cashing in, man.
I mean, he's really cashing in on what could arguably be one of the worst animated films of all time.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't even look at the trailer. It came out yesterday, and I looked at it for 5 seconds.
I gotta look now.
I looked at it for 10 seconds. I was like, this is fucking stupid. It's every fucking cliche from every kid's movie ever. And the fact that it's got T.J. Miller in it, again, is just, it infuriates me. It makes me not like him. It's even got Patrick fucking Stewart in it.
Is T.J. Miller the main emoji?
I'm pretty sure he is, yeah. It's like if Inside Out and Wreck-It Ralph had like just a really stupid baby. That's the only thing I can equate to it, and it's just like, did this really need to be a movie? I mean, look at that down ratio.
Oh,
compared to the
damn!
Yeah,
Look at it.
like-
20,000 down, 3,000 up.
Yeah, I mean, this is a movie that infuriates a lot of people just for existing or even being a concept. And I agree. I just don't think it needs to be a thing, especially because this is one of those animated movies that, like, 100 years from now, they're going to look at and they're just going to laugh and be like, wow, this is dated as fuck. Not maybe for the animation, but more for just the concept. Like, this is a piece of, like, pop culture that I don't think we're going to be using emojis forever. And when the fuck did emojis become so big in the first place?
I don't know. I don't use them very often because I usually text people in a professional manner because I text a lot through work.
Yeah.
And so I don't use them. Have you seen this?
The Orville?
Yeah.
I have not, but I've heard about it.
This is like...
Seth MacFarlane's new...
This is the
it's a
Galaxy
TV
Quest, the
yeah.
TV show, you know?
You know what really surprises me, though, about it?
What?
Like, the production value of this. Like, it's a TV show, but it looks like a movie.
I thought it was a movie when I first saw it.
I mean, that's pretty impressive looking. Oh, Jon Favreau's on board. Okay.
Yeah. Looks cool. I don't recognize any of these people.
I can't blame Seth MacFarlane for trying.
I mean,
You know.
it's got to be fun, you know, for him.
He loves just taking genres and spoofing them, though.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that with A Million Ways to Die in the West. Now he's tackling sci-fi, and he's clearly a Star Trek fan. If you've ever watched a lot of Family Guy, you know he makes references to it. I mean, he hired Patrick Stewart to be on American Dad. He utilizes him on Family Guy all the time. I mean, he's definitely a Star Trek fan.
Yes, absolutely. It looks good, too.
But I'm interested to see if this is something that can be really unique and it's not just going to be like a rip-off of Galaxy Quest. I think the only difference between this and Galaxy Quest, I think this actually is like they're not like people on a show. It actually is a sci-fi setting.
Yeah, no, they're truly, you know, on the ship. It's just a you know, a show where it happens to be sort of spoofing. It looks good though.
Yeah, like I said, I think the production value is really solid.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to like sit down and really watch the trailer and see like what's funny about it, because when you don't like hear the audio, it nearly looks like a legit like sci-fi thing.
Oh, there's a female Decepticon that got revealed for the new Transformers movie.
Last night.
Does that interest you at all?
Not really.
I know.
They can send that one to Carbomia.
Oh, Carbomia.
I mean,
Damn.
did you see the new War for the Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, I saw that. I'm over that series.
You're done with the monkeys?
Over it. Don't care. Andy Serkis, do something else. CG.
He is the premier mocap actor, though.
What is this that you made yesterday?
Oh, yeah. Let me go ahead and just lay this on you. There's this new Sonic the Hedgehog game which is coming out this year, which is called Sonic Forces. It's the next big 3D Sonic game. And for the last, 2 months, Sega has been teasing the fan base because they're like, there's going to be a brand new character in this Sonic game, and you're never going to be able to guess who it is. And the main reason for that is because in this game, you're going to be able to create your very own customized hero character. You're going to be able to create your very own avatar. And they're going to be able to play alongside Sonic and classic Sonic. And I think it's a great idea. I think it's really cool, and I think it's very fun, and I think it's like the shot in the arm that the Sonic the Hedgehog series needs. But, people's reaction to this has just been one of the most toxic things that I've ever seen.
People love to hate shit now.
Well, it's not because of creating your character. I don't think they have a problem with that. The problem they have with the whole custom character in a Sonic game is the stigma that's around it. Because for the last, decade, custom Sonic characters, especially the ones that appear on, DeviantArt, have just been some of the most cringeworthy, awkward shit that people have ever seen.
This is like borderline Furryland shit?
It is. It's going past Furryland and getting into just straight bad territory. It's almost impossible to describe, but DeviantArt is just overflowing with some of the most annoying, creepy, and weird Sonic the Hedgehog artwork that you could possibly see. And it's become so bad that it's actually turned into a meme. And I mean, there's been tons of videos which have made fun of it. There was a Dorkly video they made about it years ago. If you look up Blonic on YouTube, you'll be able to see what it's all about. And
I don't think I want to.
Basically, people saw this trailer. Yeah, you probably don't. And people saw this trailer and they're like, "Oh my god, it's DeviantArt the video game." and it's so cringeworthy, and it's awful, and just like the reaction to it was just so negative. And when I saw the trailer, I'm like, this is actually pretty cool. Not only can you create your own character, you can choose what species they're going to be, what color they're going to be, their height, their weight, and even the gear that they use. Hell, even one of them is a fucking scouter from Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which I think was like, I was like, oh, that's awesome. I'm totally going to use a scouter. I'm going to make like a bear who wears a scouter. And you have like a choice of like different animals. Like you can have a cat or a dog or a wolf, a bear, a bird, a hedgehog, all that stuff. They give you a lot of really interesting options for creating your character. And thanks to the good folks at GameXplain, I actually saw that trailer yesterday, and just every comment was just like so fucking bad. And it's one of those situations where I'm like, you need to wait for this to come out before you start saying this shit. And it also made me realize that the Sonic the Hedgehog fan base is the worst fan base I've ever seen. They are fucking terrible. They don't know what they want. They're always angry about everything. And I can understand it too. I play a lot of Sonic games, but like, fuck, man. And I had to make a video about it. I was just ranting maybe a little too much about it, but I had to address it. And it also makes me want to do more video game discussions, which is also why I'm very excited for E3 coming up, because I'm totally going to talk about all of the new shit they're going to reveal for Switch and maybe a few other things that I am very excited for. Maybe even some of the upcoming games on Switch. I know some of them you're not looking forward to, but I cannot wait for Splatoon 2. Very fucking pumped for that game. Not to mention, at 6 o'clock today, there is going to be a Nintendo Direct for their brand new game, ARMS. So we're going to be seeing a lot more of that. And looking at the video you're looking at now makes me wish they would have put Injustice 2 on Switch. I don't know. Do you think the Switch could handle these graphics?
No.
You don't think so? I mean, they're really good. Like, not when compared to, say, compared to Street Fighter, these games tend to go for a more realistic look.
They look fine.
Yeah. Fucking Darkseid. Finally
Darkseid.
playable in a game. You have to either pre-order the game to get him, or you have to buy him as DLC. So, if I ever buy... I don't like the look of the Joker in this game, though.
There's two Jokers, though. There's a traditional...
There's this one right here, which I hate the comb-over thing, and I hate the fact that... I don't know where this trend came from. Maybe it's the Suicide Squad, this, like, of tattoos and writing ha 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 all over the place. Like, we get it. His name is the fucking Joker. You don't have to tell us that shit. Fucking Supergirl.
She's a cool character that I don't think gets enough play.
I just don't know enough about her character. I think that's Black Canary right there.
Why she got to be a Black Canary?
I don't know. I don't make the rules. Fucking Wonder Woman. That movie comes out next month, and I don't know if I want to see it yet.
I don't think I want to.
I don't know. I mean, I've just never been a big fan of the character, but maybe it'll be a great way to sort of be introduced to it. I do love that. I think you just missed it, but Scarecrow is in the game.
I think it's about to happen.
And he looks fucking awesome in this game. I love the design of Scarecrow here.
Yeah, he does look really freaky deaky.
But what's really cool is the reason he looks like that. Like when you see like his actual character introduction,
yeah,
he comes out as like a normal looking, like just a guy with a burlap sack on, and then he like opens this canister which spews out all of the fear gas, and then he walks out from the fear gas and he looks like that.
Okay.
I just think that's really, really clever. And just, like I said, the design of him in this game, I just think is so freaking wicked. I also love the scythe and everything. Like, NetherRealm has done a really great job. There's Bane. Again, at first I didn't like the Bane design in this game. I like him a lot more than some of his other versions. Like, that just looks so cool. I love the black and the green.
It looks pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, NetherRealm knows how to make these guys look cool. A lot of people, of course, have said they look a little too Mortal Kombat-y, but I mean, these are the guys who make Mortal Kombat. Speaking of which, one of the DLC characters who is going to be in this game is going to be Sub-Zero.
Hell yeah. No Scorpion.
Scorpion was in the last Injustice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
this is sort of like them, like, all right, well, we're going to put Sub-Zero in this time. I think Raiden's also going to be in the game.
Okay.
Raiden or Raiden. I think they say Raiden in Mortal Kombat.
It looks cool. A lot of cool shit on the internet. I think that's the theme of this podcast. A lot of cool shit.
Lots of cool shit on the internet. That might even be the damn title.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, well, guys, thank you guys so much for watching today's podcast. I know it was basically just us rambling. But if you guys do have any other topics or things that you want to ask us personally, please tell us in the comment section on YouTube. And remember, you can also download this show for free with all the links that you see below, but you can specifically find them at rogueintel.com and, more importantly, at Blog Talk Radio. And speaking of Rogue Intel, these guys are freaking awesome. They're the ones who actually distribute our show for us, so make sure to thank them by checking out all of their amazing programs and shows. Make sure to download those for free. And, of course, another great way to support us is by using the Amazon link. So make sure to use rogueintel.com/Amazon for all of your shopping needs. Any of these new video games coming out, make sure to pre-order them on Amazon. Not only will you be getting the best prices possible, but you will be fueling our network. We really do appreciate it. Christian, you have anything else for us?
I just want to say thank you guys for listening. We truly appreciate it. And until next time, the Powerful Nerdcast is out.